Welcome to my channel. My name is Sara and I have been sharing my health and weight loss journey here on YouTube since April of 2020. Since then, I've lost 125 pounds, all in part to a sustainable diet, exercise, and the help of bariatric surgery called vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I continue to share my experience after extreme weight loss, so if that sounds like something that would be helpful to you in your own journey, I would love it if you went ahead and hit that subscribe button down in the corner. Speaking of subscribing, thank you to all 3,910 of you that have subscribed to the channel so far. I set a goal for myself to reach 4,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and it looks like I'm gonna have to bump that goal up to 5,000 subscribers by the end of December. I could not have done this without your help. I appreciate it so much, and if you find my videos helpful and you want to help me reach my 5,000 subscriber goal, please continue to like, share, and comment on my videos. It really does help a lot, and I really appreciate you for all of the support. Today I'm talking about something a little bit different, but still relevant to my health journey. 30 days ago, I started taking birth control pills to hopefully help me manage some pretty awful symptoms I've been having related to perimenopause. Just a quick warning, if conversations about women's health, including things like menstruation, female anatomy, and relative symptoms are uncomfortable to you, or as the kids say, give you the ick, then this is definitely not the video for you, and I'm going to encourage that you check out the video that I've linked up above instead. Also, I just want to point out that I'm not a medical professional. The only thing that I can really share here is my personal experience, so none of the information in this video is intended as medical advice. And if you ever have questions about your own menstrual health, you should absolutely consult your doctor or a gynecologist. So about a year ago, right around my 40th birthday, I started noticing that my menstrual cycle was getting a little wonky. It was like every single PMS symptom I ever had in my life came back with a vengeance and 10 times stronger than it was previously. I'm talking like final boss form. It's been really bad. Plus, I started getting some new and really unpleasant symptoms as well. Now, I'm talking about like hardcore menstrual cramps, which I haven't really had cramps since I was a teenager. My lower back would be hurting like hell. I experienced breast tenderness that made even just something simple like putting on a bra really painful. Forget about putting on sports bras. It was just awful. And also my emotions were all over the place. And I was noticing during my kind of PMS time frame that I would get angry really easily and really flustered over extremely minor inconveniences. My emotions were literally all over the place, up and down. It was pretty rough. Then I started experiencing new symptoms related to my sleep patterns. I all of a sudden was unable to sleep through the night. I found myself waking up several times, and I would wake up in these awful night sweats, and I'm talking not just like a little bit damp, I'm talking full on soaking wet like I just came out of the shower, and I'd be freezing cold. It was disgusting and uncomfortable. Also, as time went on, when I first started noticing these symptoms, I also started noticing that the length of my premenstrual symptoms, like becoming onset, was getting longer and longer. And so it was becoming where like 2 weeks out of the month, I was in full-blown PMS, leaving me with literally 1 week of the month that I felt like a normal human being. I kept thinking this was kind of like a fluke and maybe it was just a one-off. And so a month or two would go by and I'd be like, oh no, it was the same thing. And then the next month it would seem slightly worse. So this was like gradual over a period of several months. Probably about halfway through that, I'm gonna say maybe around like Thanksgiving of last year, I also started noticing that my periods were getting very heavy. It's so heavy that it actually freaked me out several times. I'm talking to the point, and this is gross, so if you don't want to hear it, just like cover your ears for a second. I'll put my hands over my ears so that you know when I've said what I'm about to say, and when I take them down, I'm done saying what I'm gonna say. I was bleeding so heavily that I was going through an ultra tampon in like under an hour and a half. It was really, really bad. And again, I kept thinking it was really like a fluke or just a one-off situation and that next month would be better. But unfortunately for me, next month never got better. In fact, it kept seeming to get worse. My periods were getting heavier, my PMS symptoms were lasting longer, and I was just pretty miserable overall. Now, I've been tracking my periods in the same app since I've had my son, actually. So we're talking like 13 years that I've been using the same application to track. And fortunately for me, that tracker has a symptoms list and you can create your own symptoms. So I started adding all of that pretty much from early on when I started noticing things getting weird. I kept tracking all of the symptoms and when they were happening. I was also looking at things, like what was I eating around then. I was just using all of the data that I had available to me to see if I could make some sort of educated decision on my own on what to do, or if something that I was doing externally was impacting how my cycles were going. Now, during this time period, I went through a bunch of job changes, insurance changes, so I couldn't just go to the doctor. It wasn't that simple, unfortunately. So flash forward to April of this year, I'm in my new job, I'm settled in, I have good insurance, and I finally did go to a gynecologist because all of these symptoms were actually driving me crazy. I felt like a lunatic. When I went through all of the symptoms that I had tracked and everything that I had learned about what I was experiencing, she didn't even think twice about it. She was like, you're experiencing perimenopause. So perimenopause is the time period leading up to menopause. And some women may have absolutely no experience with perimenopause, and other women will have symptoms like how I do, either all or some of them, and maybe some different ones that I have not been fortunate enough to experience as well. There's all kinds of different things that can contribute to perimenopause. It's not really something that science has got down to a T. There's so many different symptoms, and like I said, some women get it, some women don't. Same way as menopause. Some women have an experience and have symptoms, some women don't. The other thing is perimenopause can last months or it can last years. Now, I personally wondered if this had something to do with my surgery, something to do with the extreme weight loss, and I brought that concern to my gynecologist, and she said, well, it could possibly have an impact on your hormones. Bariatric surgery is hormonal because your stomach creates hormones. However, she felt much more confident in saying that it was more or less likely due to my age. Of course, she did the joke, welcome to your 40s. And I am fully into my 40s now. In fact, I'll be 41 later this week. So this is a very natural time for changes like this to start happening to my body. So her first suggestion to me to try and manage the symptoms was to try a combination birth control pill. Specifically, I am taking a low dose combination birth control pill. It contains 2 hormones. It is estrogen and progestin. And the brand name of what I am taking is low estrogen FE or Phe. I'm not sure which way you say it. But this is essentially a tiny blue pill. So you can see it here. It's really, really small. And normally you would take this throughout your cycle. And then these 2 little white pills here are actually placebo pills. There's nothing in there. It's really like a reminder so you don't forget. And then the last 2 pills in the series are an iron supplement only. Now, I'm taking mine a little bit differently, whereas most people will follow this whole cycle, and then during the placebo and iron only pills, that's when you would get your period. I'm actually skipping that step altogether, and I will just be taking straight through just the blue pills that contain the hormones. The goal of that is to ensure that I can manage my symptoms. Number 1, we're going to try to either completely eliminate my period or reduce it to just a very, very short one. Now, to manage my own expectations and to share, what I was told that this will take up to 3 months to really start noticing any significant changes. Now, that being said, I did notice a few different things just in this first kind of month of taking them. The one symptom that has been pretty constant is breast tenderness. It is day to day. It's not really something that I notice all the time, but it is more frequent than before I was taking the birth control pills, and that is one of the listed side effects. Of course, a big fear of mine was gaining weight from this, and because I'm taking a low dose, it shouldn't really have an issue. I have noticed that I'm a little bit on the higher end of my normal fluctuation. Typically, I fluctuate in weight anywhere from 150 to 155 pounds, just depends on the day, but I have been hovering a little bit higher there, where I've been kind of hovering between 153 and 156. Now, I don't know if that is necessarily from the birth control pills yet. It likely is, because I haven't changed much else. But it's also worth noting that I've been doing less cardio and more weightlifting, so that could also have an impact on my weight as well. It's really just too early to say if this is causing me to gain weight, so I don't want to make the assumption that it is, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing to build muscle and exercise to keep my heart healthy. Other than those two things, everything else has pretty much been the same. I still got a period this month. I think it was maybe a day shorter, but the period was pretty much exactly like it had been for the last year, pretty much. So what I'm planning on doing is I will probably do another update on this piece of my health journey in about 3 months, and we'll see if there have been any noticeable changes, any improvements to the symptoms. I'm really hoping that I do see some improvement, because the night sweats are terrible. I'm talking head to toe, sweating, disgusting. It's awful. It drives me crazy. It's just grosses me out so bad. And the cramps and moodiness too have just been not pleasant. So I'd like to not experience those if I don't have to, but we will see. Time will tell, and I'm going to continue to take my pills. I take them at the same time I take my vitamins in the morning, so it just makes it easy. I haven't forgotten or missed one yet. So if you're interested in this part of the journey, be on the lookout for my 3-month update. That'll probably be somewhere around the end of August. Now, if you're open to sharing, I would love to hear about your experience with either perimenopause or menopause. Did you have extreme symptoms? Did you find anything that helped manage them? What did you do? Now, I know that's a sensitive topic, so if you're not comfortable leaving a comment down below, then just feel free to chit chat with me on one of my socials. You can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. I think everybody has at least one of those, so you can always touch base with me there. I would love to just chit chat about this and hear what your experience was, as I really never gave this time of my womanhood very much thought, but here I am. I'm going to be 41, and it's time to start, really thinking about these things as I go through my 40s. Hopefully before I know it, I'll be feeling normal again, or at least semi-normal. I don't know, what even is normal, really? Anyway, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help a lot. And if you don't want to share your perimenopause experience in the comments, at least just say hi and leave me a pink heart emoji for my new pink lit desk. What do you guys think? Thank you so much for watching this video. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.